Hey homies, what's going on? Paul with Robots with Coffee here. I want to quickly talk about what I picked up this week, comic-wise, or what arrived in the mail. Uh, First off, thank you everybody who supported the coloring book. This was a fun project, and I'm glad that they got funded. Thank you everybody who spread the word or donated. And copies are in, Princess Robo is in, and we'll be sending it out soon. I super appreciate again, the attention that it was given. You guys really made my day, and I hope you'll like the book once you get it, because I put a lot of work into it. But I'm going to move on. This is a sketchbook from a guy named Gerald Dye. You can find out about him at geralddye.com. It's called Mechanized, and it's like a bunch of techno-organic cities and vehicles and robots. It's really wild and totally worth it. Brian Scherer, we all know from doing G.I. Joe inks and pencils and covers, but also doing inks on several of the Transformers books for IDW. I love all the IDW people. They're great. I love getting their sketchbooks, and I love checking out and seeing what they're doing outside of the related books that they don't own. If they do own a book, you should totally check it out. You should totally support it when you get a chance. But this was a fun Kickstarter project to back. And hopefully we'll see more of Brian with the book that he's got coming out called Willing to Last. And I almost knocked over a bunch of water. This is Encounter. It's by Baltazar and Franco, who do All Yeah Comics, and Chris Russo is the artist on this. I'm a big fan of his, and that's why I picked this up. I usually read it and hand it off to friends with kids. This is a collection of comics and stories by Sam Sharp and Peach Goodrich. It's called Viewatron from Ad House Books. Every month in previews, I look when I order my books for like indie stuff like this, because I'm not about superhero books, at least not anymore. It's always it's always, there's always something, there's always a gem or two. I got this. This is May by Gene Ha, and I bought it because it's written by Molly from Gmart, which is where I get my comics from. And I used to work at Gmart back in the day, so I thought I would check this out because she wrote it. She works there. Congrats, Molly. She signed it for me. Thank you. Transformers Unicron, Transformers Optimus Prime by Barber, and some of the other various awesome people who work on these books. Beast of Burden is by Evan Dorkin. It was written by Evan Dorkin. He's one of my favorite artists and writer. And this is not one of his humor books. It's kind of a serious, dark book, and you should totally check it out because it's really wicked slick. Lost Light, of course, second to last issue, and we're all going to see where it's going. It was a great issue, and it's arts by Cahill. He's a pretty awesome artist. So I just steamrolled through all that. I'm going to talk now about what I picked up at a used bookstore. This is a Streamlighter. It's like it's the official publication of the Union Pacific Historical Society. I didn't know there was. It's like this really weird small magazine about trains and their travel paths and what have you. I mean, it literally has things like an index to see if steel or wood came through. I don't know if it's telling you how to build a branch, how to build a city, but there's schematics, there's city planning for things like that. I think you get this if you're trying to recreate things for your model trains, or if you're if you love that sort of thing. Like, oh, I remember going through Kemmerer. What a great time. I got this one because it has these pictures of these wild snow plows that go on the tracks, and they push snow off the tracks. And so there's a lot of pictures like that. I don't know if I'm ever draw anything that's going to be like this, but it's still pretty cool, and it does inspire me in some ways, so who knows. But I thought I would pick it up because it was super cheap. This is from 1976. I don't know who really publishes this. It's got a lot of stories about various dog fights and who was doing what, but it's mostly what I got it for was just like the identification markings of the planes. Not that I'm looking for them, but I think that the designs of these planes are cool. These propeller airplanes and fighter jets from back in the day, and bombers and what have you. Not the color. It's got a lot of color and black and white photos of, and like for some reason, in case you feel like doing the Battle of Britain, which I don't know how you would do, I would definitely want to do it. But I'm just this is really wild. These drawings on here, and that is something that does like almost directly inspire me. So I don't know if I'm gonna be drawing stuff like this, but I definitely, you see something like this, you kind of consider how, would my robots or would my vehicles have markings like this? That's so nuts. It's pretty crazy. I am going to read the articles too, even though I'm not like a history student or, I'm not a war buff or anything like that. I just am, it's interesting. And then in the same vein, this is called the aircraft nose art. And I had to be careful about opening it because there is some, like, almost got to that page. There's things like this where it's like, what we'll teach the Nazis is this Donald Duck drawing, or Elmer Fudd. Watch out, Hitler, because Elmer Fudd is coming for you. So it's a lot of that, a lot of just what people would paint on their airplanes. And there's one on here, and again, I'm going to read it too, but like, watch out, we're the 39th parallel. It's got pictures of A-10. I love the A-10 and the shark mouth. I'm trying to find it without getting onto a sexy lady that's inappropriately drawn on these airplanes at Garfield. Not the best Snoopy, but this is somebody who's defending her country, or someone's country, so I can't give them too hard of a time. The one that really got me, though, I don't know if I'll find it, is this one here. Like, watch out, Germany, because here comes the UP in our progressive colors. So I guess that's, it kind of varies from like sexy ladies to the rainbow that ends in the Michigan's UP. Okay, great. So this is a really cool book, and it was pretty cheap, so I picked it up. I couldn't pass on it because it's find it interesting. And then this was also something I picked up called the Mad Reader. It reprints a lot of the stuff from the EC days of Mad that goes from like their horror parody to just straight comic parody, like this Archie one. Wally Wood is one of the artists on it, and so is Jack Davis. Jack Davis would be a long-time artist on Mad, but it's a study in art, and it's pretty dense for just a cheap reprint, although it wasn't that cheap. But not really a fan of old Mad. I like the 60s Mad. I like the movie parody stuff. But I had to check this out with Archie and the way that they were mimicking that style, often stuff they would probably have to draw themselves. So there you go. That's what I picked up this week. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully I can do more stuff like this, and we'll be talking more, and you'll see some live drawings in my hands later. All right? See you later.